And then in terms of Shemar Stewart,
Yes, sir.
you got to remember this, Rich. There are dozens of players, only a couple of first-round picks, but there are dozens of players across the league, rookie draft picks, who have not yet signed their contracts. The reason this one gets more attention is because there's only one guy who did not participate in practice the entire spring, and that was Shemar Stewart. And my understanding has been, the way that this works, why rookies can practice without contracts, which you can't do starting in training camp, veterans can't do it, is generally players will sign what's known as a participation agreement that protects you if something were to happen, injury or otherwise, through the course of those practices here. It would ensure that you're taken care of financially. Well, Shemar Stewart didn't want to sign the participation agreement that the Bengals had because the way that theirs is worded, because every team has different language, it did not provide the same level of protection as other teams give their rookies. And in fact, he wasn't alone in that. Demetrius Knight, their second round pick, also didn't practice with the first day with the Bengals because of the same issue. He ultimately showed up on day 2. They got his contract done. But the argument in that case was, hey, I should be treated like all the other rookies around the NFL. And the Bengals were saying, well, no, this is our language. This is what Amarius Mims and everybody else before you had. Well, it's exactly the opposite on the contract, which is the Bengals are saying, we want to give you this language. Shemar Stewart saying, I want to be treated like all the other players in this locker room, like Amarius Mims. And they're saying, well, no, this is what we're now going to do with this language to match other teams. So you've kind of got this double standard here that has not struck Shemar Stewart or his agent well. I think ultimately they find a way one way or another to get Shemar Stewart in, if not right at the start of camp, then in the early stages of training camp here. But that's the reason we keep talking about this one. It's not that it's unusual for a player not to have signed. It's this dichotomy of, well, we can't do the participation agreement because of what other teams' language is, but we also can't do the contract because, well, this is what our language is. That's what's generated, from my understanding, the most significant holdup here, and why Shemar and his agent Zach Hiller just haven't been willing to sign either of those.
Yeah, we're talking about it too, Tom, because it's very rare for a rookie to leave camp the day after he arrived to hold in and say that a team is more up for winning an argument than games. Like that was a new one for me, and we've been at this for a while with NFL Network. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.